Got the ropes! I talked to you a little bit before we started, but the whole controversy about people like me who are in the movie reviewing business all know that the performance you're giving in this and in Rise of Planet of the Apes are extraordinary. And yet the Academy doesn't recognize it as a performance because of the computer aspect of it and motion capture.
Well, I think things are changing in the sense it's really all about perception. And obviously there's the visual effects side of a character like this, which is a separate thing really. It should almost be viewed as a digital costume and makeup, and that is not to take anything away from the interpretation of the extrapolation of the performance in the way that they put it together. But the actual authorship of the role in this case, and in other cases like Caesar and Rise of the Apes, comes from the same place that the authorship of a role in a live action part. You can't make it better. You can't engage the audience more on an emotional level by adding CG effects.
We didn't mention, you brought up technology, but The Hobbit is not just available in 3D, but in this new process of 48 frames per second.
Yeah.
I hear people saying, did you see it in 48 frames per second? And people go, I don't know, did I? What is it?
Oh, you'd know.
What is it? I knew from seeing it, but I can't tell. What does it all mean?
It means it's a higher frame rate. So we are used to seeing cinema at 24 frames a second, and when you hear Peter talk about it, I mean, this is historically true. I mean, weirdly enough, 24 frames a second was created by Edward Muybridge, who was the man who froze photographs of horses galloping to see if a horse's hooves all left the ground at the same time. In order to achieve a still photograph, he created a track of 24 cameras, and the horse galloped through and tripped off these tripwires, which took separate images. Now, when you put all those images together and crank them, then you get 24 frames a second, and then you get the moving image, and that is how the moving image came into being on celluloid. So that's all our collective memory of film is 24 frames. At 48 frames, which is the new high frame rate that Pete's shot the Hobbit on, and is the first film in the world to do so, you have this incredible clarity. It feels very real. You're totally immersed into it. There's a luminance and a sort of brightness and they feel, combined with 3D, you just feel you're inside that world.
What I felt watching A Hobbit when it first went on was, what is this new process? I paid attention, and then within 5 or 10 minutes, I was lost in what the story was.
Correct.
Which is the sign of success or failure.
Absolutely.
If you just sat there looking at the technique,
yeah,
but instead you're jumping, you're having those reactions that you have when this.
I think that's right. I think it does take a little while for you just to adjust, your eyes just to adjust, and then you're away and you're in the story.
But you've talked about the adjustment from the Lord of the Rings movies to The Hobbit, but what about, you also did King Kong. You can't be just wearing a little thing on your head when you're this giant ape.
Yeah, no, the technical processes involved in that, and also the sort of the research that went into that was pretty huge. And you work your way through how you're going to bring King Kong to life, with an actor playing that role. And so, I mean, I spent a long time researching gorillas. I went to Rwanda, studied them in the wild. I came back, and we decided that Kong, unlike in the 1933 version, which we all love, but we know a lot more about gorillas 2005 when we made the movie than we did in 1933. So we wanted to be make him much more intrinsically gorilla-like than monster-like,
And you're acting with Naomi Watts, who's here tomorrow. So I'm going to ask her about all that stuff.
Listen, I mean that was an extraordinary experience working with her, because she is one of my favourite actresses. She's just she really is brilliant in my mind, and I enjoyed that process of working with her so much. She's so honest, so truthful, and you know, we played those scenes together. For 4 months I was pretty much off camera, being Kong for her, off camera, in a gorilla muscle suit, and I was raised up on cranes, I was on cherry pickers to get the right eye line, but we were able to, you know, she was able to look into my eyes and act opposite me, and when she wanted to reach out and stroke my face, she would, you know, it's Kong's nose, it would be, she could touch my face, or so that the reality of her performance and Kong, you know, they were linked, they were emotionally linked. Then I had to go back and reshoot all the performance capture for Kong, and I had very heavy weights, and you know, to make Kong's arms seem like wrecking balls, I had very, very heavy weights, and I would shoot Kong's close-ups, and you know, and play out all of the scenes with looking down at a small monitor of Naomi's close-ups from the scenes that we'd shot before, so that I was still playing real, you know, off her timing and off her real emotional beats. So,
but still, it sounds so complex what you're doing to do this. That the fact that performance comes out that we can feel and see is even more of a remarkable accomplishment, I think, because then when you're playing the giant King Kong ape, and then you're doing Caesar in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, where it comes down a little, but the expressiveness of the eyes in that is you, right? This is your eyes.
It is, because all the performance capture, you know, it tracks your eye movements, tracks your muscle movements.
How does it do that when those things aren't on your eyelid?
Because but what it is you have markers on your eyelids, and because your eyes aren't totally, you know, your eyeballs aren't totally round, they're not totally spherical, they deform the eyelids so that it can actually see where your eyes are looking. You know, it tracks the movement of your eyes. So I mean, with Caesar, I mean, that was a great role, and that was a significant leap forward in the technology, in the sense that we could shoot performance capture, as we did in The Hobbit just now, all in one hit, all in one, you know, by bringing the cameras out of the motion capture studio into the live action set, and so I was with James Franco again, acting with him. You know, but this time I didn't have to go back and repeat the performance on a motion capture stage. I could just do it all in one go, and that was it.
Must have been great for you. Very, you know,
yeah,
very satisfying.
This new kind of version of the technology is really so much better.
Well, we always end our interviews here with song.
Oh.
Because I guess it's because I met Rolling Stone, and this is it. And you can sing whatever, it just has to be a snippet of something. Of course, I would love it to be a song from Gollum.
Okay.
But it's your choice.
Okay. Well, let me think.
And now, the end is near. And I must face, what precious, the final curtain. To face what? The words I don't know. Oh, precious, you've blown it. I said it would. You didn't. Be so uncertain.
My life is made. I can't go on. This is the end. This is it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Best of luck with all of this.
Thank you very much.
I think, you know, probably the next thing will happen, and Peter Jackson will just say, "You do it." You do it.
I doubt that very much.
I'm going to make very small indie movies.